Stop the bleed, the good, the bad, the ugly. Is it necessary? Is it good? Is it viable for your skill set as an everyday carrier or as a sheepdog and protector of your community? Let's have a chat about that today. How's it going, guys, and welcome back to Quinton, the Gun Guy. Today we are doing Stop the Bleed. Is it necessary? Isn't it necessary? Well, I really think that it is. Now, what is Stop the Bleed? Stop the Bleed is a course that was designed in the US. So that's something that trickled down to the rest of the world. It's just a basic hemorrhage control or a excessive bleeding control course that's done by medical professionals. Should be done by medical professionals, but it's not as controlled as you think that it should be. So yeah, there's a couple of issues that there are with Stop the Bleed. So let's get into the nitty gritty of it. So let's say you just bought your first firearm. This is a Glock. It is clear and safe. So you just bought your first firearm. You did your competency if you stay in South Africa. Or let's say you in the rest of the world. Competency is where you do training, just basic training about the law and handling of a firearm. We do a written test and a practical test to make sure that you are competent to handle a firearm. So that's the South African law. If you live in the rest of the world, where let's say you can just buy a firearm, you just bought this and you've decided to do a course. So you do a handgun 1 course. You learn how to manipulate your firearm, how to shoot slightly better, and to clear malfunction. So your skill set has just expanded. Now, medical skill set is a lot the same. So let's say you did a first aid level 1 training. So you know the basics of first aid. Then you get level 2, level 3, and then it carries on. Basic life support, something like that is up next. So that is going through the rankings. Now, it's a lot the same with firearm training. So let's say you did a basic firearm training, but you say that, well, I want to learn something specific. Let's go to a marksmanship course. I want to see if I can shoot slightly better. Or I need to work on moving and shooting. Or I travel a lot in my vehicle, and in my area, like it is actually in my area now, there's a lot of hijackings as well. So I need to learn to manipulate my firearm and move around the vehicle, to use the vehicle, get away from the vehicle, whatever your mindset is, to use a firearm in a safe manner. That is going after a specific skill set. Now, that's a lot what Stop the Bleed is. Now, going into the medical field, as everyone knows, it's a vast field, and especially trauma as well. There's a couple of different courses you can do. Gary from Global Phalanx, he's a really cool guy. Huge amounts of experience in war zones, but we'll get to that now. And he always says it's a rabbit hole. So you can decide how far you want to go down into the rabbit hole. A lot like firearms, you can specialize in carbines, in long range, in handguns, all sorts of different things. So Stop the Bleed is a small snippet into the world of medical training and saving lives in a trauma-based scenario by stopping the bleed. As we stated, there's a lot of guys doing different Stop the Bleed courses. Now, I've done a couple of different courses. The highlights for me is Deployed Concepts. They're based up in Joburg, and Global Flags, they are based down in Durban, but all of them do courses all over. Deployed mainly focusing on the Gauteng area and doing quite a few different courses. Absolutely awesome guys. Also, proper battlefield tested skill sets and expertise that they're bringing. Gary has been to all kinds of places that, as he says, that you don't want to take your family on vacations, all kinds of war zones and absolute horrible places. Now let's get into why it's a good thing going to certain people for a Stop the Bleed. So he's doing a Stop the Bleed course this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and that got me thinking, where I haven't done a video about the course that I did with them. I think it's about a month ago now, close to that, where I learned quite a lot of new things as well. It's like anything else. It's like tactics as well, firearm tactics. It's ever changing. So doing one course and going, okay, I did that, I never need to do something like that again, is an absolute fallacy. You are going to have to redo courses as well, because you lose skill sets, you lose things that you don't think about, because it's something that you don't use as often as you actually should, or practice as you often should. So why do you need to go to specific people for skill sets? So would you rather learn from someone that's done something once, or would you want to learn from someone that's done something 50 times? I know where I want to go. So let's take gunshot wounds or stab wounds even. Doesn't really matter. So let's just focus on gunshot wounds. Would you like to learn from someone that's done one gunshot wound in the last 5 to 10 years and how to deal with that kind of trauma? Or would you want to learn from someone that's done gunshot wounds almost on a daily basis? That's insane. So I would rather go to that person because they know a lot more about the pitfalls and where you should focus on where you should apply things like a tourniquet, which has become a fashionable item these days in your everyday carry. So this is the proper North American Rescue cat tourniquet. I don't know what this is for. This is the proper cat tourniquet, cat Gen 7. So this is probably the most expensive cat that you can buy. Well, definitely the most expensive one that you can buy, because this is the original. Absolutely awesome. So I see a lot of guys carrying these in their, not even in their everyday carry, carrying it in their car or on their play carrier because it looks cool because I'm carrying a tourniquet. They've got all the gear but no idea. Well, if you see someone carrying a tourniquet, number one, and it's still in its packaging, it means absolutely nothing. When you need a tourniquet, you need a tourniquet now. Either you or people that you care for, people whose lives you want to save, you want to deploy this within seconds. Getting it deployed within seconds is not set up and it's still in its packaging. Not really. You need to get it out in a hurry. Or I see guys that has their tourniquet out or in their play carrier, and it's set up with the Velcro like that. How are you going to deploy it like that? All that means is that you haven't gotten any training. I've seen really interesting things as well. Guys with tourniquets taken apart, all kinds of weird stuff. That just boils down to carrying a firearm but having no idea how it works. Same thing with this. This is a tool. It's not a substitute for a skill set. It is an expensive item, but you need to know how to use it, when to use it, and the pitfalls of it, because it's not an item that's not going to fail. The same as with a firearm. There are failures, there's malfunctions, there's issues with it. You need to learn how to clear it and how to avoid it as well. Things like having a limp wrist is going to cause a failure. Stupid things like that. Or not focusing on your front side, you're going to miss. Everything translates into each other. So you need to go to reputable place and get the skill set. Anyways, getting back to the course. So you need to do a course as a refresher every couple of years, I would say. It's great getting to reputable people. There is quite a few reputable guys in the country. It's not just singular type of guys that really have a lot of experience, a lot of expertise bringing to the market. That's just adding value to the market. Now, if you have a Stop the Bleed course and it's a quick half an hour course or an hour course and you think that people are going to save lives, they're probably not. Stop the Bleed is violent, it's traumatic for both the person that was or is bleeding out and for you as well. Using a tourniquet is, and few people actually cover this, it's really traumatic. It's traumatic for you and it's traumatic for the person that you're doing it on, because if you're doing it properly, they are going to not enjoy it. And that's, few guys actually cover this as well. Few people cover that if you use a tourniquet, that limb means nothing to you now. It's completely shut off and you are going to be stuck without it until you get proper medical help. One thing that we did in the course, which was very, very interesting, is we used a tourniquet and we left it on for a bit longer so you can go through, well, not a stupid amount of time, just so you can actually feel what it feels like and feel what it feels like when it's on a bit longer. So just putting it on, taking it off, I'm not going to do that now because you don't practice with a tourniquet. That's another thing. You leave it until you need it. Get another cheap tourniquet to practice with. So anyways, getting to that, so I had a tourniquet on my arm. James from Southwest Horses, he was there as well. So had the tourniquet on my arm, and within a short period of time. Look, I'm not an aggressive guy. I'm even-tempered, and I was ready to really hit someone. It's I can't even explain it. It's really annoying and it's sore and you want to get it off. And imagine having that on and being shot as well, all that trauma adding up, and that's things that you aren't prepared for. So get to someone that knows what they're talking about, someone that's passionate as well, someone that knows about wound packing, that's going to show you the proper technique for wound packing. Because if you're doing a Stop the Bleed course with no wound packing dummies or anything like that, what are you doing? And you need to cover hemostatic agents as well. That's ever changing as well. So when I did my first Stop the Bleed courses, it was there, but it wasn't as mainstream as it is now. Global Phalanx have done a really good job at bringing Celox into the market and bringing expertise about Celox into the market as well. It's just newer generation of hemostatic agents that's really going to save lives as well. Because a tourniquet is an awesome life-saving device, but it's not the be-all and end-all of Stop the Bleed, because this is a really limited use item. It's the same as a flashlight. You don't use a flashlight to open a packet of chips or to cut your Biltong with. You use it in the dark. So it's a specific use item. The same thing with a tourniquet. Proper usage can save lives, but if you're using it the wrong way, it's not going to do anything. Hemostatic devices, that's a new generation. It's less invasive, less traumatic, and it works a hell of a lot better. So looking forward to seeing what Celox is going to do in the market later on, as well as the expertise, I would say, and the footprint grows about hemostatic agents. Looking forward to it, and please tag me in your Stop the Bleed courses, pictures where your hands are full of blood doing some wound packing, and get to reputable guys as well, guys that, as I just mentioned, Deployed Concepts, awesome guys, great expertise, and Global Phalanx. That's the two that I've done that I really believe in, and awesome guys bringing proper experience and expertise to the market. Anyway guys, like, share, subscribe, send this to your mates that haven't done a Stop the Bleed course just yet, and because you can't just focus on offensive, you have to focus on the defensive as well, because the chances of you using medical equipment in South Africa is a lot better, because ambulances in the first world take minutes to get to you. In South Africa, they just usually don't. They just don't get to you. Or get to you an hour later. Anyway guys, like, share, subscribe. See you later. Cheers.